2 years ago, I went hiking in the Appalachian mountains with 3 friends, and what happened next, I still get nightmares about that. I'm from Ohio, 25 years old, and I'd always wanted to do a proper hiking trip. My mates Kyle, Derek, and Josh were all experienced hikers, so when they planned a 5-day trek through a remote section of the Appalachians in West Virginia, I jumped at the chance. We set off on a Monday in late September. The weather was perfect, cool but not cold, leaves just starting to change color. The trail we'd chosen was moderately difficult, well marked, and we'd registered our route with the ranger station like you're supposed to. First 2 days were brilliant. Stunning views, good conversation, sleeping under the stars. We saw deer, heard owls at night, felt completely connected to nature. This was what I'd been missing stuck in the city. On day 3, we took a wrong turn. It was my fault. I was reading the map, got confused at a fork in the trail, and confidently led us down the left path instead of the right. We walked for 2 hours before Kyle noticed the trail markers had disappeared. "Mate, when's the last time you saw a blaze?" he asked, referring to the painted marks on trees that showed the official trail. I looked around. He was right. No markers anywhere. The path we were on was narrower, overgrown, clearly not the main trail. "We need to backtrack," Derek said. "Find where we went wrong." We turned around and walked back the way we'd come, but after an hour, nothing looked familiar. The landscape all looked the same. Dense forest, rocky terrain, steep hills. "We're lost," Josh said flatly. Kyle pulled out his phone. No signal. None of us had signal. We were too deep in the mountains, too far from any towers. "Right," Kyle said, trying to stay calm. "We've got a compass. We've got a map. We can figure this out. We just need to head east until we hit the main trail again." We started hiking east, using the compass to guide us. But the terrain was brutal. Steep inclines, thick undergrowth, no clear path. We were bushwhacking through forest that clearly hadn't seen hikers in years. By late afternoon, we were exhausted. We'd been hiking for 8 hours with no idea if we were any closer to the trail. We decided to make camp and try again in the morning with fresh legs. That night, around 2 a.m., I woke up to a sound. A voice. Distant, but clear. A woman's voice calling out, "Help me! Please, someone help me!" I sat up. Kyle was awake too, listening. "Did you hear that?" I whispered. He nodded. "Someone's in trouble." We woke Derek and Josh. We all listened. The voice came again, maybe 200 meters away, somewhere in the dark forest. "Help! I'm hurt! Please!" "We have to help her," Derek said, grabbing his torch. "Wait," Josh said. "Something's not right. Why would someone be out here alone and calling for help but not moving toward us?" "Maybe she can't move," Kyle said. "Maybe she's injured. We can't just ignore it." We argued for a minute, but ultimately decided we couldn't live with ourselves if we didn't at least check. We grabbed our torches and headed toward the voice. We walked through the dark forest, calling out, asking where she was. The voice kept calling back, always seeming to be just ahead of us, just out of reach. "Help me! I'm over here!" We'd been walking for about 20 minutes when Josh stopped dead. "Guys," he said quietly, "we've been walking in a circle. Look." He shone his torch on a tree. We'd marked it with Kyle's knife when we'd started following the voice. We were back where we'd begun. "That's impossible," Derek said. "We walked in a straight line." "The voice is leading us," Josh said. "It's not real. It's trying to get us lost." "What the hell are you talking about?" Kyle demanded. "It's obviously someone who needs help." The voice called out again. "Please, why won't you help me?" But this time, I noticed something. The voice sounded exactly the same as before. Same words, same tone, same inflection. Like a recording playing on repeat. "Josh is right," I said. "We need to go back to camp. Now." We got back to camp and didn't sleep the rest of the night. Just sat there in the dark, waiting for sunrise, listening to the forest. When dawn finally came, we packed up quickly and started hiking east again, desperate to find our way back to civilization. We hiked all day, barely stopping. As evening approached, we came across something that made my blood run cold. A campsite. Old, abandoned, but unmistakably human. A torn tent, scattered equipment, clothes, and bones. Human bones, scattered around the site, picked clean. "Oh God," Derek whispered. We searched the area carefully, found a wallet in the remains of a backpack. ID inside belonged to a man named Craig Hoffman. Josh pulled out his phone, snapped a photo of the ID even though we had no signal. "We need to move," Kyle said. We hiked as fast as we could, practically running through the forest. As the sun started setting, we finally saw it. A cabin. Old, wooden, smoke coming from the chimney. We approached cautiously, knocked on the door. An old man answered, maybe 70, weathered face, suspicious eyes. "We're lost," Kyle explained quickly. "Been hiking for days. Our phones don't work. Can we use yours to call for help?" The man stared at us for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "Come in." The cabin was sparse. One room, bed in the corner, wood stove, table and chairs. He gestured to an old landline phone on the wall. Kyle called the ranger station, explained our situation. They said they'd send a search team at first light, told us to stay put. "You can stay here tonight," the old man said, "but don't go outside after dark, no matter what you hear." "What do you mean?" I asked. "These woods aren't right," he said. "Things live here that shouldn't. Things that mimic, that call out, that try to lead people astray. Been happening for decades. Every few years, hikers go missing. They find some of them eventually. Others, never." "That's insane," Derek said. "Is it?" the old man replied. "You heard the voice, didn't you? The woman calling for help?" We all went quiet. How did he know? "Everyone hears it," he continued. "Different voices for different people. Whatever they think will make you follow. A woman, a child, a friend. It learns, it adapts. And once you're deep enough, turned around enough, it stops pretending." "What is it?" Josh asked quietly. "Don't know. Don't want to know. I just know to stay inside at night and ignore anything I hear." We stayed in that cabin, barely slept, jumping at every sound. At dawn, a helicopter flew overhead. The search team. They airlifted us out one by one. Derek doesn't hike anymore. Josh moved to the city, won't even go to local parks. Kyle still hikes, but never alone, never in the Appalachians. 3 years ago, I discovered why there's a stretch of Appalachian highway in Tennessee that locals refuse to drive at night. I was 26, driving from North Carolina to Nashville for a job interview. Left late in the afternoon, figured I'd drive through the night to get there by morning. Stupid decision. Around 11 p.m., I was on Route 25E, a winding mountain highway through the Cumberland Gap. Narrow road, steep drops on one side, dense forest on the other. No streetlights, no houses, nothing. Just me and the occasional truck passing in the opposite direction. I'd been driving for about an hour on this stretch when I saw someone standing on the side of the road. A man, maybe 50 yards ahead, waving his arms. Looked like he was trying to flag me down. I slowed down as I approached. He was wearing jeans and a jacket. Looked normal enough. As my headlights hit him, I could see he looked distressed. He was pointing urgently at something behind him, toward the forest. I stopped and rolled down my window slightly. "You all right, mate?" "Please, you have to help," he said breathlessly. "My daughter, she ran off the road back there. The car went down the embankment. She's trapped. I need help getting her out." I looked where he was pointing. Couldn't see anything from the road, just darkness and trees. "Have you called 911?" I asked. "No signal up here," he said. "Please, I've been trying to flag someone down for 20 minutes. She might be badly hurt." Every instinct told me something was off, but I couldn't just leave if someone was really hurt. I pulled over properly and got out. "Show me where," I said. He led me to the edge of the road. There were no guardrails here, just a steep slope dropping away into darkness. He pointed down. "Down there, about 30 feet. You can see the car if you look." I pulled out my phone torch and shone it down the slope. I couldn't see any car, just trees and rocks. "I don't see anything," I said. "Further down, come closer to the edge." That's when I noticed his shoes. Clean. Completely clean. If he'd been scrambling around trying to help someone in a crashed car, his shoes would be dirty, scuffed. But they looked brand new. I took a step back. "Where exactly is your daughter?" "Right down there," he insisted, moving closer to me. "Just look." I backed away further. "I'm going to call for help. You stay here." His expression changed. The distress vanished, replaced with something cold and calculating. "You should have looked when I told you to." He lunged at me, trying to shove me toward the edge. I stumbled backward, fell hard on the road. He came at me again, but I rolled away and scrambled to my feet, ran back to my car. He didn't chase me, just stood there in the road, watching. As I drove away, I looked in my rearview mirror. He was gone, completely vanished. The road was empty. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold the wheel. I drove for another 20 minutes until I saw lights. A small petrol station, the first sign of civilization I'd seen in an hour. I pulled in and went inside. The cashier, an older woman, looked up from her magazine. "You look like you've seen a ghost," she said. I told her what happened. As I described it, her face went pale. "What did he look like?" she asked urgently. I described him. Jeans, dark jacket, maybe 45, short brown hair. She went to a drawer behind the counter and pulled out a folder. Inside were newspaper clippings and printed photos. She showed me one. It was him, the exact man I'd just seen. The photo was from a news article dated 2019. "That's Marcus Webb," she said. "He killed 3 people on that stretch of road. Would flag down drivers, tell them someone was hurt, get them to the edge, then push them off the cliff. Made it look like accidents. They caught him in 2019 when one of his victims survived and identified him. He's in prison. Maximum security facility in Nashville." "That's impossible," I said. "I just saw him 30 minutes ago." She shook her head. "You didn't see Marcus Webb. You saw someone pretending to be him, or someone doing the exact same thing." She showed me more clippings. 4 people had died on that stretch of road in the past year. All single vehicle accidents, cars found at the bottom of the embankment. Police ruled them as accidents, drivers losing control on the dangerous road. But locals knew better. They'd seen someone flagging down cars at night. Different descriptions, but always the same story. Someone claiming a family member was hurt, trying to get drivers to the edge. "We've reported it dozens of times," the woman said. "Police have patrolled, set up cameras, but they never find anyone. Whoever's doing this knows when police are around, only targets people who are alone." "Why would someone do this?" I asked. "Marcus Webb did it for robbery," she said. "Pushed people off, climbed down, took their wallets and valuables. But whoever's doing it now, no one knows. The bodies are always found with their wallets and phones. Nothing stolen, just pushed off the cliff for no reason." She let me stay at the petrol station until sunrise. I wasn't driving that road again in the dark. In the morning, I took a different route to Nashville, added 2 hours to my journey, but I didn't care. I reported everything to the police when I got to Nashville. They took a statement, but I could tell they didn't believe me. said I probably saw another stranded driver and misinterpreted the situation. The fact that he looked like Marcus Webb was just coincidence, maybe someone who resembled him. But I know what I saw, and I know he tried to push me off that cliff. I looked into it more after, found online forums where other drivers reported similar experiences on that same road. Man flagging them down, always with the same story about someone hurt. Most drove past. A few stopped but got suspicious and left, like me. The 4 deaths in the past year, all happened at night. All were found at the bottom of the same section of embankment. Police reports said they'd likely fallen asleep at the wheel or lost control. But I think they stopped to help. I think someone convinced them to get close to the edge, and I think they were pushed. Whoever's doing this, they're smart. They know how to avoid cameras, avoid police, choose victims who are alone and vulnerable. And they're using Marcus Webb's exact method, maybe even studied how he did it. Last spring, I went caving with 2 friends in West Virginia. What we found deep underground made us realize we were never alone down there. I'm 27, been caving for about 3 years. It's called spelunking, technically, exploring wild caves. My mates Aaron and Mike were experienced too. We'd done dozens of caves together, always followed safety protocols, never took stupid risks. In April, we heard about a cave system near Lewisburg that wasn't on any official maps. A local guy named Tom told us about it at a climbing shop. Said it was on private land, but the owner didn't mind people exploring as long as they were careful. We got permission from the landowner, a farmer named Mr. Hewitt, and headed out on a Saturday morning. The cave entrance was a narrow opening in a hillside, surrounded by thick forest. We geared up, helmets with lights, ropes, the full kit, and headed in. The first section was easy, a wide passage that sloped downward. After about 30 minutes of crawling and climbing, we reached a larger chamber. Our helmet lights showed it was massive, ceiling disappearing into darkness above us. "This is incredible," Aaron said, his voice echoing. We explored the chamber, taking photos. That's when Mike found the supplies. In a corner, partially hidden behind some rocks, were plastic water bottles, empty food wrappers, and a sleeping bag. All relatively new, maybe a few months old at most. "Someone's been camping down here," Mike said. "Who camps in a cave?" Aaron asked. I picked up one of the water bottles. The label was faded but readable. "These aren't that old. Someone's been here recently." We looked around more carefully. Found more evidence. A small camping stove, some tins of food, a torch with dead batteries. All stashed away like someone had been living here. "Maybe someone uses this as a shelter," I suggested. "Homeless person or something?" "This far underground?" Mike said skeptically. "It's pitch black and freezing. No one would choose to stay here." We decided to keep exploring but stay alert. Moved deeper into the cave system, through narrower passages. After another hour, we reached a second chamber, smaller than the first. And that's where we found the jacket. It was hanging on a rock formation, muddy and torn. Mike checked the pockets and found a wallet inside. Driver's license for a man named James Pritchard, 24 years old, from Ohio. Issued 3 years ago. "We need to report this," Aaron said immediately. "This guy might be missing." We took photos of everything and kept moving, now seriously concerned. The cave continued deeper, the passages getting tighter. We were about to turn back when we heard something. A sound, distant but clear, metal scraping on rock. We froze, listening. It came again. Someone was down here with us, somewhere ahead in the darkness. "Hello?" I called out. "Is someone there?" No response. The scraping stopped. We waited a few minutes, then continued carefully. The passage opened into another chamber, and that's when our lights caught something that made us all stop dead. A camp. A proper camp. Tent set up, supplies organized, battery-powered lanterns, and fresh food, the kind that doesn't last long. Bread, fruit, bottles of water. Someone was actively living down here. Recently. "We need to leave," Mike whispered. "Right now." That's when we heard footsteps, running, coming from a passage on the other side of the chamber. Multiple people, moving fast. We ran. Didn't think, just ran back the way we'd come. Behind us, we could hear them pursuing, lights bouncing off the cave walls. We scrambled through the tight passages, scraping our hands and knees. Aaron was in front, then me, then Mike. I could hear Mike breathing hard behind me. "They're gaining!" Mike shouted. We reached the first large chamber and didn't stop, kept running toward the entrance. My lungs were burning, helmet scraping the ceiling in the lower sections. Finally, daylight. We burst out of the cave entrance and kept running through the forest to our car, threw our gear in, and drove straight to the police station in Lewisburg. The officers listened to our story, took the photos we'd taken, the information from the driver's license. One officer's face went pale when he saw the name. "James Pritchard has been missing for 2 years, he said. "Disappeared while hiking in this area. We searched for weeks but never found him." They organized a team immediately, went into the cave that afternoon with proper equipment and backup. They found the camp, found supplies for at least 4 people, found more IDs, more personal items from different missing persons cases going back 5 years. But no people. Whoever had been down there had fled through other passages deeper in the cave system. Over the next week, police explored the entire cave system. It was massive, dozens of chambers connected by passages, some leading miles underground. They found evidence that people had been living down there for years. Stolen camping equipment, supplies, clothing. They also found remains. 2 bodies, buried in a deep section of the cave, identified as hikers who'd gone missing 3 and 4 years ago. The theory is that someone, or multiple people, had been kidnapping hikers and keeping them in the caves. Using them for labor maybe, or just holding them prisoner. The police still don't know exactly why or how many people were involved. They never caught anyone. The cave system connected to other caves miles away, enough exits that whoever was down there could have escaped easily once they knew police were coming. I don't cave anymore. Can't bring myself to go underground again.